Hey guys, welcome to a new What If series. What if Tanjiro had Hamon? If you don't know what Hamon is, it is a technique used in the early parts of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where through self-controlled respiration, a trained person can produce an energy manifesting as ripples throughout their body, and that is identical to the energy of the sun, used to fight vampires, zombies and pillar men. It involves taking in huge lungfuls of oxygen and cycling only a small amount of it in and out of your lungs in order to keep them almost constantly full. Since your lungs are nearly full, this method also has the effect of increasing core strength by giving your muscles a more solid frame to push against. For this what if, Hamon will be a technique created by and passed down the Kamado family for generations. Because of the anti-aging and healing properties, Tanjiro's father Tanjiro would still be alive, however he still has his illness and it is taking a toll on him, so he doesn't have long to live. Due to knowing he didn't have long to live, Tanjiro had been teaching Tanjiro Hamon through meditating, constricting his breathing so he has to take bigger breaths, and training to channel his Hamon through a cup to prevent water from spilling from it. At first Tanjiro failed miserably, spilling the water every time, however over a few months, Tanjiro finally managed to prevent a single drop from spilling. One day, while selling charcoal for his family, Tanjiro would not start climbing the mountain to return home until dark, so an old man told him to stay as there are demons about. While he was sleeping peacefully, the demon king Muzan arrived at his house, killing his family, until he eventually reached Tanjiro, who was enraged, grabbing a hatchet, using sun breathing to attack Muzan, scaring Muzan with his resemblance to Yoritichi. He would then switch to Hamon, grabbing the soap, creating Hamon-infused bubbles, which start to disintegrate Muzan, traveling up his arm as he made contact with them. Seeing this, Muzan would cut off his arm, preventing the spread. He would then go full power, aggressively attacking Tanjiro to the point that Tanjiro's breathing was starting to slow down due to his disease. However, Tanjiro would manage to use the last of his Hamon to cripple Muzan, forcing him to run away, leaving Tanjiro to die. With the battle over, Tanjiro would hug the bodies of his family, apologizing for not protecting them, telling them that he will be joining them shortly, dying due to his disease. In the morning, unaware of what occurred, Tanjiro would travel up the mountain home, until he smelled the scent of blood in the direction of his home, using Hamon to increase his speed, running up the mountain to find his whole family massacred in cold blood, believing that it might have been a bear attack. While in despair, he would notice that Nezuko is still breathing. Noticing this, Tanjiro would attempt to use Hamon to heal her, however he would notice that it was having a negative effect on her. So instead he grabs hold of her, running down the mountain, towards the village to find a doctor. While running he would lose his balance, falling, landing in a pile of snow, dropping Nezuko in the process. Upon getting back up, Tanjiro would notice Nezuko standing, walking towards her, telling her to rest as he will carry her, however she would attack him, forcing him to the ground. Tanjiro would then place his hatchet in her mouth, using Hamon to increase his strength, allowing him to hold her back. He would then start desperately begging Nezuko to stop, apologizing for not being there to protect her and everyone, making her cry. Out of nowhere, a mysterious man would appear attempting to cut Nezuko's head off, however Tanjiro managed to roll to safety with Nezuko demanding to know why he did that. Tomioka then introduces himself, telling Tanjiro that his sister is a demon and it is his duty to kill her, blitzing past them, snatching Nezuko. Tanjiro would then start to beg for Tomioka to release his sister, as she will never eat anyone, and he will turn her back to normal. Tomioka is then enraged, calling him weak and telling him to attack him. Tanjiro would then use his Hamon in a fight for the first time, increasing his speed, strength and durability to an inhumane level, attacking Tomioka. However Tomioka would dodge, but still be impressed with his speed, wondering if he uses a breathing technique. Tanjiro would then do the same thing as Kanon, getting knocked out. Nezuko would then charge Tomioka like normal, also getting knocked out. Upon waking up, Tanjiro would be told by Tomioka to go to Mount Sagiri and tell a man called Urokodeki that Tomioka sent him. While on their way there, they come across a demon eating people at a rest spot. After noticing them, the demon charges at Tanjiro, grabbing his throat, strangling him, so Tanjiro uses Hamon Overdrive to punch through the demon's chest, making him start to burn from the chest. He then uses his hatchet to slice the demon's head off, killing it. As the sun starts to rise, Urokodeki arrives, introducing himself to Tanjiro and Nezuko, guiding them to the mountain. When they arrive, Urokodeki tests Tanjiro to see if he is worthy to be trained, telling him to descend the mountain. At the top of the mountain, Tanjiro notices that the air is very thin, however with his Hamon training, Tanjiro can easily endure it, and with his inhumane sense of smell and Hamon enhancements, Tanjiro manages to descend the mountain with only a few injuries from the traps. Seeing this, Urokodaki agrees to take Tanjiro as his apprentice, teaching him breathing techniques for the next year. Due to training for Hamon, Tanjiro is already prepared to learn breathing techniques as his lungs are far stronger than Kanon, so he finds it a lot easier. After Tanjiro got the hang of the basics and sword techniques, Urokodaki told him that he had nothing else to teach him, telling him that if he can slice a boulder in half using his breathing techniques, he can go to final selection. Using Hamon, Tanjiro could probably spit the boulder, however that isn't the point of the exercise, so he doesn't. He then spends the next few months trying to spit the boulder with no progress, until Sabito and Makomo arrive, teaching how to properly use concentration breathing, allowing him to spit the boulder after 6 months. He would then go to final selection, at the same time as normal, using Hamon to easily kill demons as they are not used to it and don't know how to prevent the spread. He would then come in contact with the hand demon, managing to cut his arms off with Hamon and water breathing, however the demon was smart enough to cut off the affected limbs, continuing to attack Tanjiro, slamming him into a tree. However, after a longish fight, Tanjiro comes out as the victor, slicing off the demon's head. A few days after final selection, Tanjiro would receive his Nishirin blade, which would turn black as normal, disappointing the swordsmith who hoped it would turn bright red. Tanjiro would then go on his first mission, where he would have to track a demon who had been kidnapping girls from a village. With the help of a civilian, Tanjiro would locate the demon, killing one of the clones before it could get its next victim. Tanjiro would then fight the demon, however he would be overwhelmed by the demon's numbers, but Nezuko would also join in on the fight, allowing Tanjiro to focus on the demon instead of protection. He would then jump into the swamp demon's portal thing, managing to kill the final clones, asking them about Muzan, which scares them, killing them. For his next mission, he is sent to Tokyo to investigate a demon sighting, however he is overwhelmed by how busy Tokyo is, having lived in a small village his whole life, so stops to have some udon. While eating the warm freshly prepared udon, Tanjiro recognizes a familiar scent, dropping his udon on the floor, grabbing his sword and running towards the epicenter of the smell, wondering why he would smell Muzan there. Upon reaching the source of the smell, Tanjiro grabs onto Muzan's arm, preparing to pull out his sword, however he is shocked to see a human child and wife with him. While Tanjiro is confused, Muzan transforms a bystander into a demon, using the distraction and chaos to escape into the shadows. Not wanting to kill the demon due to it not having killed anyone, Tanjiro holds it to the floor, restraining it, while shouting at Muzan. Due to most of the world not being aware of the demon's existence, Tanjiro is attacked by the police, while he desperately tries to explain that he is the only person who can restrain him. Suddenly, a flower pattern appears in the air, blocking the police off. After looking around, Tanjiro notices a woman, who he recognizes as a demon. She then introduces herself as a demon doctor, telling him that if he wants to save that man, he should give him to her. Tanjiro would then allow Tameo to leave with the recently converted demon, returning to Nezuko, buying 2 bowls of udon, slurping them down in an instant. Yoshio then introduces himself to the duo, guiding them to their hideout, after insulting Nezuko's beauty. Upon arriving, Tameo explains how she broke the Muzan's curse and doesn't require large portions of blood to survive, only needing a few drops from donations every now and then. She also explains that she was the one who transformed Yoshio into a demon, after 400 years of experimenting. Tanjiro then asks if she believes there is a cure for demons, with Tameo explaining that she isn't aware of a cure for demons existing, however every illness has a cure. So she believes if she can study blood of demons close to Muzan, she might be able to make a cure. They are then attacked by 2 demons sent by Muzan, who was a lot more scared than usual, due to seeing the resemblance between both Yoritichi and Tanjiro. Due to not being able to see the ball's paths, Tanjiro is hit a few times even if he slices them, and due to the fight being mostly long distance, Tanjiro doesn't have an opportunity to use Hamon. So the fight goes mostly the same as canon, until towards the end of the fight where he slices off the Tamrai demon's arms, killing her. After the fight, Tameo explains how he can collect the blood and give it to her, wishing him luck, sending him off. While on the way to his next mission, Tanjiro would come across Zenitsu harassing a girl, begging for her to marry him before he dies. Tanjiro would then intervene, allowing the girl to leave so Zenitsu would blame him, telling him that he has to protect him until he gets married so he doesn't die. While walking together, Tanjiro would befriend Zenitsu, sharing his food with him. Upon arriving to their next mission, they would see two children hiding outside a mansion, who tell them that brother was taken into the building, so Tanjiro tells them to stay put and defends his box, while he takes care of everything, entering the building. However, not long after, the kids would enter the building as well, scared after hearing Nezuko move. He would then come across the demon who lived in the mansion, being thrown around by the demon's blood demon art, until he gets used to the pattern, managing to use it to his advantage, slicing off the demon's head. Upon exiting the building, Tanjiro would find a boarhead man, attacking Zenitsu, who was protecting Nezuko's box. Seeing this, Tanjiro charges at Inosuke, punching him in the chest, breaking a few ribs and sending him flying. They would then engage in hand-to-hand combat, with Tanjiro winning in the end due to his hard head, knocking Inosuke out. When he wakes up, he demands to have another fight, however Tanjiro declines, so Inosuke decides to join him instead. Okay guys, this is the end of this part of What If Tanjiro Could Use Hamon. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like and commenting what you enjoyed about this video and subscribing to the channel and turning on the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload, as chances are, if you liked this video, you will probably like my other ones. With that out the way, this is Demonic Saiyan saying bye.